Twins Live is brought to you by CenturyLink, your link to what's next, and by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards.
Tonight at Target Field, the Twins welcome in the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim for the start of a 3-game series. We continue on Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. I'm Marnie Gellner. All throughout this game tonight, we will recognize the significance of what Jackie Robinson did on this date 66 years ago when he became the first African-American to play in Major League Baseball. Jackie was an inspirational person. He was influential on so many, including one young boy from Sheboygan, Wisconsin, who now lives in the Twin Cities and ended up becoming a lifelong friend of Jackie's.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you. Please give a warm welcome to Minnesota's own Ron Rabinovitz.
When Ron Rabinovitz speaks, there is true passion in his voice.
Jackie opened doors not only in sports, but in the business world, all over.
He's spreading a message of courage and equality. It's a true life lesson that began when this man was this boy. As a youngster, he was known as Ronnie, a typical kid with a typical love of baseball. Growing up in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, Ronnie idolized one player in particular, Jackie Robinson. So Ronnie wrote him a fan letter. Then later that season, when the Brooklyn Dodgers came to Milwaukee to play the Braves, 7-year-old Ronnie was lucky enough to get up close to his idol.
After the game, we went down to the locker room and waited for him to come out. And when he came out, I ran up to him with about 50 other kids, and I said, "Jackie, I'm Ronnie Rabinovitz. Do you remember me?" He said, "Sure, I do." My dad standing over my shoulder, he said, "Sure, Jackie, with the thousands of letters you get, how would you remember?" He said, "No, I remember your dad wrote me on lawyer stationery. My father was an attorney."
David Rabinovitz was a prominent lawyer and very progressive in civil rights. It was David who first admired Jackie and passed that affection down to his son. And after that first meeting, there was magic.
After I met him, and he said to me, "Keep in touch." And I thought, my God, he wants to hear from me again. So I got home and I wrote him a letter. And I thanked him and I told him it was nice to meet him and everything. And lo and behold, I got a letter back.
The correspondence wasn't immediate. Ron waited a while for Jackie's reply. But once it arrived, he didn't even try to contain his excitement.
And I told my friends, I said, "I got a letter from Jackie." "Yeah, sure, I got a letter from Donald Duck," And I'd pull it out and they said, "Oh my God,"
The correspondence continued and a friendship was formed. Around the time of Ron's 10th birthday, the Dodgers once again came to town.
We invited him for dinner in Milwaukee, and he said he'd love to come. And it was crazy. I mean, you should have seen these other kids. Shakes my hand, goes in our car, and it's like, how did that happen?
So this is you right here.
That's me right there.
The unlikeliest of friends stayed in touch, and the letters became more meaningful.
I learned a long time ago that a person must be true to himself if he is to succeed.
Through the years, Ron received 18 letters from his pen pal. And Ron is the first to admit his friendship with Jackie Robinson was anything but typical.
I was white, he was black. I was Jewish, he was Christian. I was a kid, he was an adult. I was from a little town in the Midwest, he was from a big city out east. And yet there was this bond.
Even after Jackie retired from baseball, his relationship with Ron remained.
Ronnie, one of the things that pleases me most is our friendship continues even though I'm no longer connected with baseball.
6 months before Jackie passed away in 1972, the two had dinner in New York City.
And afterwards, I hailed him a cab and got him settled in the cab. And I leaned in and I kissed him on the cheek and told him how much I loved him. And that was the last time I saw him. Jackie once said, "A life is not important except for the impact it has on other lives." I don't know if he ever really knew what a tremendous impact he had on mine.
Today, Ron keeps Jackie's memory alive by giving speeches and presentations about his hero.
I feel like even though I never met Jackie, I feel like I know him because of the way my dad presents it and talks about it so fondly that it's almost as if I was there.
You got to remember, there was no Martin Luther King, there was no civil rights movement, there was no Rosa Parks. It was him alone, and he changed this country. It is friends like you that make me feel that everything that happened was worthwhile.
It is an unlikely friendship that formed an unbreakable bond. The one that started between this boy and this man.
it means so much to me. He meant so much to me. You know, some people say Babe Ruth changed baseball. Jackie Robinson changed America.
Rabinovitz gives about 15 presentations a year about Jackie Robinson and the friendship the two of them had. The letters from Jackie are locked up in a safe, and Ron says he's not sure what he's going to do with them. Maybe eventually give them to Cooperstown to add to their Jackie Robinson display. Ron said one thing he will not do is sell the letters because he said in his mind they are priceless. What an amazing story. Now we turn our attention to our Just for Men auto-proof, foolproof stat. Joe Mauer has a 7-game hitting streak going on right now, hoping to extend it to 8 tonight. He's hitting .345 over that 7-game streak. Coming up, a look at one of the most impressive Angels. How will Mike Trout follow up his remarkable rookie season? That's later in our show.